All right. Oh, it had egg on my face. All right. So now that we're recording, I need to go through all of that again. No, just kidding. All right. So I did ask you guys if you had time prior to the training to just go onto the website here, which is on the top of your walkthrough. If you hadn't bookmarked it or if it still isn't bookmarked. And that is uwlowcountrygrants.communityforce.com. And that's right up here. And just go into your, click on login. And put in your username, which is just your email address. Now, if you're like me and can't remember all of these various passwords that you have to remember, no harm, no foul. Just put in your email address and click on forgot password. It's very user friendly and it'll walk you through setting up a new password. I haven't changed these. So you should be good to go. Now, Phil, you're the only, you're the difference here because I had to change your email address in the system because you were having some email difficulties. You should be reset to your default, which is your last name, 1234.
Okay.
So you should be able to get in as soon as the training's over and reset your password. Let me know if you have any difficulties at all, and I will assist. Okay.
Okay.
But everybody else, you should be good to go. And I have not went in and messed with your stuff, so you should be good.
Christy, I have Amber's login.
Yeah, you should be seeing Amber's login up there.
Okay.
I have to use hers because I'm an admin, so it gives me a
Okay.
different view.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be logging in under her so you guys can, so it shows what you guys would normally see. Otherwise, it's gonna mess with you because you're gonna see what I see. And that
Okay.
is not what you see.
All right.
So go ahead and click in your login. And then it's going to bring you to this screen, which is just a tad different. So there have been some updates to the system over the last 2 years since you guys have been in it, but they are minute and not enough. I'm not even going to draw the attention to them because they are so minute that by drawing the attention to them, they would actually confuse you. So this is the screen that brings you as soon as you log in. And you guys are seasoned reviewers, so you're going to have a couple different things on here. It's not going to be a clean screen. So you're going to have some other stuff on here. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that you're looking for this right here. The Basic Needs Impact Fund Final Application or Economic Mobility Impact Fund Final Application, or if you go over to task name, you're going to see the panel reviewer scorecard. So these are the two ways that you're going to be able to tell. And that's on your little cheat sheet too. So you're just going to click on that. And when you click on that, it's going to bring you to this screen right here. And this is going to have all of your applications. So if you are Phil, you are economic mobility, so you're going to have 8 applications here, and up here it's going to have applicants assigned 8, and they're all going to be listed right here. So this is going to be your kind of dashboard. If you are basic needs, you have 16.
Yeah, thanks, Christy.
Sorry guys. Going to be you're going to have 16 right here, and all yours are going to be listed over here. The difference, our basic needs is a major priority area. We have more money to distribute in that priority area, and we always get more applicants in our major priority areas than our minor priority areas that we have a lot less money to distribute. Therefore, and we also let fewer programs through because we have less money to distribute. So, and that is the difference. We don't normally have half, but that's kind of how it panned out this year. I'm actually surprised. I would think in a pandemic year that we would have had more job related programs apply, but that's how the cookie crumbled this year. So when you click,
Let me grab those back real quick. I want to make sure I add them to my spreadsheet before I forget. I think I did.
so when you're in this view, once again, there's a lot of information on this view. This is going to tell you how many applicants were assigned right here. It's going to be right there. It's going to tell you how many reviews you've completed so far. Going to tell you how many you still have left to do right here. And then here's all of your applications along with the percentage and what you have scored. So in order to access your applications, which I have only assigned Amber one application, you just click on the applicant name and it'll pull up your application to pull. And this is the view that you're going to see. Go ahead and as soon as you pull up, just for ease, as soon as you pull up your applications, I would go right on over here and enlarge your scorecard. And all you have to do is go over there until you have your double arrow right here. See the double arrow, and just use your mouse and pull it on over to enlarge it. And then that way you can read the whole thing, the whole question and answer. Just makes it easier to view. And remember, you have two different scroll bars. You have your scroll bar here, over here for your scorecard, which is right here. And then you have your scroll bar over here for the actual application, right? So your scorecard is right here. The application is over here. And remember, so we have done, the Community Impact Committee has done a lot of those pre-qualification type questions. And before, you were scrolling back and forth between the pre-qual and the application. But now that the Community Impact Committee has done a lot of that pre-qual stuff, the only item that we ask you to score on the scorecard that might be in your pre-qual portion is going to be that strategic plan. And the reason why the strategic plan is still on the scorecard is because the strategic plan does play a large role in the program evaluation, because there's a lot of really good information that you can find in the strategic plan. Like, is the organization on top of things? Do they know what they are looking at, and do they have a plan for how they are going to tackle their outcomes, and how they're going to how they're going to achieve their outcomes in the next 3 years, the next 5 years. So we left that in there. We want you guys to be looking at that strategic plan because it does play a significant role in program development. So we did ask you to look at that. Of course, the application starts at the very beginning. So you do have access to all of the information in the pre-qualification, and the strategic plan is right here at the very beginning of the application. However, the strategic plan might also, I want to give you a heads up, it might also be at the very beginning. There's this new section in the application beginning with updated information section, because what we found was that because of the timing of our application, there was a lot of documents that our agencies were submitting that were outdated, or that were not up to date, like the Secretary of State. Because our applications the deadline for the prequal was May 31st or May 28th rather. A lot of our organizations were submitting extensions for their 990s because of when their fiscal year fell. And a lot of them had submitted the paperwork into the Secretary of State by the May 15th deadline, but had not gotten their letter back from the Secretary of State because of their backlog, not due to any fault of the agency. So we added this updated information section in the application phase in case they had submitted extensions or in case the Secretary of State had a backlog due to no fault of the agency. So I do want to draw your attention, and that's why I highlighted it here in the scorecard, is that if the applicant was required to update documents, please take the time to review the reason why and which documents they uploaded to this section right here. Because if they updated any documents, they're going to tell you why right here, why they had to put attached documents to this new section. So this is where you should go first to make sure that you're reviewing the most up-to-date documents that the agency provided. Any questions about that? All right. So the strategic plan, we noticed a lot because of the pandemic, a lot of organizations were updating their strategic plans because the pandemic had created a lot of change within the organizations and a lot of change within the responses that those organizations were creating. So a lot of y'all might find that the strategic plans are going to be found in this updated document section. Okie dokie. And also, if you are financially inclined, we also found that a lot of our agencies had submitted extensions. So a lot of the 990s a lot of the updated 990s are going to be found in that updated document section as well. All right, the next new thing that we asked you guys to score is this the non-discrimination racial equity statement. Now, we've always asked the organizations to provide their non-discrimination statement, and you guys have always rated that. But we are, United Way Worldwide is moving towards racial equity and even going one step further and including doing a diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we are going to be walking this path with United Way Worldwide. And we can't tell you exactly how that's going to look because they haven't really formulated, United Way Worldwide, they haven't really formulated exactly how that's going to look yet. And we're going to keep you guys in the loop as well as we walk that path. But this is kind of the first step. We're asking them, hey, you know, given everything that's happened in the past year, there's been a whole lot of movement on this. We're asking them if they have altered their non-discrimination policy, and if they have, to provide it. And we're asking you guys to review that policy. That's kind of, this is the first step. So I just wanted to draw your attention to that. Other than that, it really is the same, you know, that you're going to see a lot of the same kind of stuff, just refined. I really tried to make the questions more specific so you guys didn't feel there wasn't a whole lot of ambiguity in there. Because you guys don't tend to like that. You guys like very specific responses to the questions. or at least that's what your feedback had indicated. So I really tried to remove a whole lot of that. The overhead percentage, I did ask you guys, we do ask that you guys verify what they provide. You know, we ask them to provide what their overhead percentage is according to their 990. And then we ask you guys to look on the Secretary of State's website, which I provide, to see if it coincides with what the Secretary of State has. And we also have the financial reviewers looking at that. They are going to calculate. They will actually calculate it. We don't want you to actually calculate what it is. We want you guys to be looking on the Secretary of State's website and letting us know if the information corresponds to what is reported by the Secretary of State. We will have the financial reviewers actually calculate what that overhead percentage is according to their 990. We don't want you guys doing that. Any questions about that? All right. So the only kind of overlap between you guys and the financial reviewers is right here on the organization's budget, the organizational budget review. And that is simply because the overhead in the organizational budget puts a whole lot of the program into context. And you as program reviewers need that context. So, and the financial reviewers also need that context. So both of you guys review those two numbers, but the overhead, you guys just review it differently. But other than that, the questions are pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot of difference in what we're asking you guys to review. You will see that there are some changes to the outcomes document, and I'm going to pull that up for a second. So let me get to that. I don't know if you guys picked up on the fact that the autosave, when it auto-saved, it put the screen back, and it will do that. When it auto-saves after 10 minutes, you know how I made it nice and big so I could read my screen? When it auto-saves, it's going to go back to the size that it was. And I asked Community Course if they can stop that. They have not gotten back to me yet. So I will keep y'all informed. I'm hoping to prevent that. But
Question,
yes,
when it does auto save, does it go all the way back to the top of the application like it did before? Or does
yes.
it bring you back to where you left off from?
No, Phil, it takes you back. I keep trying. I told them that I wanted, that was feedback from 2 years ago. I told them that they needed to make that so it doesn't happen. And they still have not, they have not included that in the product.
Okay.
I'm still fighting that fight though, Phil. I'm fighting the good fight on that.
Okay,
But no, it takes you back to the top, unfortunately.
that's fine.
Okay, so let me get to the very bottom. Okay. That's something that I did want to bring up. We gave the agencies, we sent out much earlier the information for the pictures and the success stories. And we emailed them that information a whole month early, because the responses that we had received from agencies in the past was, well, it's really hard in the summer months to get a success story, or, well, it's really hard to get pictures with only a month in the summertime. So we gave them double the amount of time this year, and we said, look, guys, this is your marketing department's job. It should not be difficult. This is what they should be doing. They should have stories in waiting for those donors and waiting for those funders. That's what they should be doing. They should have pictures. They should have stories. So we're giving you extra time. We're giving you double the amount of time. You need to have these. This is how you bring your story. This is how you bring your program to life. This is how you tug at the heartstrings of your reviewers. And this is mandatory, guys. This isn't hey, this would be great to have. We're telling you, this is mandatory. So you as reviewers should know that they were given double the amount of time. And they were told that this is no longer optional. So you guys as reviewers should be scoring accordingly when it comes to the pictures and the stories. They really need to, it's time, because some of what our job as reviewers of their applications is to increase the quality of their ability to tell their story to other funders and to be able to get other funding streams. And some of that is having the marketing material on hand to be able to tell their story. So we need to kind of walk them down that path. And the feedback that you guys provide in the comments section, we need to be beefing that up a little bit, because we do want to provide constructive feedback to the agencies to increase the quality of their applications. So those comment sections, the boxes that I've put in the application, the scorecard, please use them. But no, feel free to free flow in there. I will never just copy and paste those comments. I will always make sure to edit them so that they are in the form of constructive feedback. So use the comment boxes. We love to give the partner agencies constructive feedback, and that's how I do that, is use those comment boxes. So use them, please. Also print your PDFs. Nothing's better than to print that PDF going up to these 3 boxes up here, and print the PDF and put it in your binder for your site visit, because then it captures all of your comments, because there's a couple of months in between of when you guys are doing your reviews as panel chairs and when the site visit happens. So sometimes you forget, oh yeah, that's right. But if you print your PDFs and put them in your binder, then the night before your site visit, you can read your notes and remember, and then it all becomes clear. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask this question at the site visit. Or, oh yeah, that's right, I scored on this, and that'll tickle you to remember that question that you wanted to ask. Okay. So back to basic needs metrics. Okay. So I wanted to draw your attention to this, and let me, as soon as I pull it up, I'll do a new share. Can everybody see the metrics document? Yes, no, maybe,
It's a bit cut off on the left margin.
but you can see it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. All right, so I just wanted to show everybody that, why is this?
what is that?
Okay. That this has changed a little bit. We have tweaked the outcomes a bit and changed, color coded it, so that these are now common with some of the outcomes with United Way Worldwide, so that we can start to look at commonality internationally and nationally and statewide, and start to set some benchmarks. So I'm really starting to get a little bit excited because y'all know that I'm a geek when it comes to outcomes. So, I'm geeking out a little bit on these outcomes here. And something else that we added was this text box, because some of the agencies wanted the ability to tell you guys a little bit more. They did not feel that giving them the ability to report on the outcomes allowed them to tell the whole story to you guys as reviewers. So make sure to read. If they explained anything in the text, make sure to read that text, because they were really wanting a narrative put on to the outcomes. So, but if you'll notice, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew this. These are color coded and these are now paired. So these outcomes are a set. So if they're going to report, you should not see just one number in here, like 12 in here, because these are a set. If they report in here, you should see a number in here and in here as well. This is a set of outcomes now. Same thing with this. If they report here, there should be a number here and here. This is now a set of data. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah,
So everything is paired up. And if you see like this one right here, that's just one number. There's no other numbers to go with that. That's its own set. But this is a set, this is a set. So you should not just see one number hanging out here. If they report on this number, they should be reporting on this number as well. They could still report on multiples, but they needed to report on the whole set. And we are going to be starting when we're assigning points for these outcomes. You are going to want to give a program. I mean, if we're looking at apples to apples, you are going to want to assign a program that is able to do outcome 2 and 3. You're going to want to assign them more points than you would if a program is only able to be accomplishing outcome number 2, but isn't able to accomplish outcome number 3 as well. So far, we're starting to move down that road when we're looking at these outcomes now of commonality, to where we are starting to assign more points based on impact. Are there any questions about the outcomes or the changes to the outcomes sheet? Once you start going through and doing a couple of the reviews, you'll see that it's not a whole lot of difference. All right. Let's see. Let's go back
Eek.
to back to the application. I'm trying to think if there are any other pitfalls, and you guys are my most experienced folks, so I don't think there are. I mean, I really did try to take care of all those with the specific nature of the responses. But as always, you know, I'm always here if you guys need me. And as always, the applications, it's easier to do them earlier on than to wait till the last minute, because I'll start to peck at you towards the end, you know. And I'll start to peek in and start to send you those gentle reminders.
Okay, the white elephant in the room. How many applications do we have to, are each of us reviewing for our different areas?
Well, the economic mobilities, if you're in economic mobility, which you are, Phil, you have 8.
8,
You
okay,
have 8 applications to review, because at the panel chair level, you guys are my consistents, and you guys review every application in that priority area, because you guys determine which programs make it through to the site visits.
okay,
You guys determine which top 7 and top 12 programs are able to receive funding. So you guys score every single program that applies.
how many site visits did you say? We get it down to?
In the minor priority, which this year you're a minor priority, you're economic mobility. So only 7 programs make it through to a site visit.
Okay,
In the major priority, 12 make it through.
And that's
Okay,
out of
but-
16.
So now normally, actually in the major priority, I'm actually really excited that only 16 programs applied, because normally we have about 24.
yeah,
Which is surprising to me that so few applied. And I don't know why. I don't know if agencies are so busy, or if there's a whole lot of pandemic money out there, and basic needs agencies aren't having to chase the money because there's so much COVID money already out there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on, and it could be a little bit of both. But
there's a lot of COVID money out there.
yeah, usually we have a whole lot more applications to review in the major priority.
Last time everybody made it through, right? But did we narrow them down?
Well, it depends. It depends on how many apply, right?
Yeah.
So in basic needs, 4 programs are not going to make it through.
Yeah, yeah.
And in economic mobility, only 1 program isn't going to make it through, because only 8 programs apply
I see. Yeah,
and 7 make it through to a site visit.
yeah.
We're gonna do
So
7,
only-
Mike?
I'm
7
sorry?
site visits? We're gonna do 7 site visits in one day?
No, there's 2 days in economic mobility. In the minor priority, there are 2 days of site visits.
Motion on your
I don't think I had 2 days given to me. What's the second
You
day?
don't, but there's 2. You've got Tracy.
groups.
Tracy Robinson is
Oh,
also
she's
a
got
panel
one.
chair for economic mobility.
Okay, all right, so
You're not the
either
only
four,
panel chair.
four or three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depending. Right?
I just
So-
wasn't, oh, sorry.
That's okay. And there's multiple agencies that submitted programs.
Right, right.
So I think there's actually in economic mobility, I think there's only one agency that submitted 2 programs. So they wouldn't, if both of their programs made it through, they of course would receive only 1 site visit.
Right, okay.
Now, in basic needs, there were multiple agencies that submitted multiple programs. 11 agencies submitted 16 programs. So, it's possible that all 11 agencies will make it through, but not all programs, right? So we'll have to see how that kind of pans out. And then it all depends on the location of those programs as to how many days we need for site visits.
Okay,
There's a whole lot of moving parts and pieces to how many site visit days we need and the time and all that kind of stuff. So until I know which programs make it through, I can't set that site visit schedule.
okay,
But yeah, so 16 applications to review if you're a basic needs reviewer, and 8 if you are a economic mobility. But either way, we have less applications this year than in prior years to review,
yeah, I believe that, because.
which is astounding.
24.
I really thought this was gonna, I thought we were gonna get slammed this year. I really thought that with the need out there, and with this being a basic needs funding year, and an economic mobility funding year, I just thought that we were gonna get slammed with funding requests, but it didn't happen. So,
Okay,
are there any other questions that I can answer for any of y'all? I mean, the software is actually, it's getting more user friendly. And I'm getting better at cleaning up the scorecard, I think. Over the years, I think we've worked out a lot of the bugs, and your feedback has really honed in on a lot of the issues. So, you know, I think we're almost there now. If the Community Force software will just do the edits that we keep asking for, then I think we'll have the perfect product almost. Well, if I can't answer any questions, y'all know where to find me. I'm gonna go ahead and start my reviews, and I will, if as I come across anything, I will give you a heads up as to if it impacts any of your reviews. I was very specific with the agencies, and if I geared them towards a certain answer, I told them to put it, to scan it, like my response. I would send them an email, and I would say, look, scan this and upload it so the reviewers know exactly what I said. Or I told them, throw me under the bus, tell them that Christy Turner said blah, 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 blah. So if I said something, they will be very specific in their response. Christy Turner told me to say blah, 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 blah. But as I'm doing my reviews, if it impacts or if it's something that you need to take into account, I will absolutely send it to you.
And reviews are due September 26th.
Yes, let me just verify that. Let me flip my calendar open here. Now, I'm leery to give you that because that is like by midnight on the 26th, I need everybody's reviews in, but I am really hoping that you guys don't like skid in sideways to that deadline, okay?
We would never do that.
Because on the 27th, at 7:30 a.m., I need to start compiling all of the results. So, but yes, you guys have until midnight on the 26th to get your reviews completed. Now, with that being said, remember the financial reviewers are also conducting their reviews at the same time that you guys are conducting your reviews. So if for some reason there pops up something in their financials that is just a no-fly zone, right? Something that they think is a red flag that just makes that organization just not a good investment for United Way. I will email all of you guys that are in that priority area and have you halt the review because if they're not a viable investment, then it's not really worth our time to review the program that they're submitting. But unfortunately they're happening in tandem, they're happening at the same time. So, you might have conducted your review or you might be conducting your review before I know about it. But I will let you guys know as soon as possible. But the likelihood of that is pretty slim because we do not have any programs from organizations that are brand new to United Way. The programs that have been submitted, we have relationships with them. So I'd be very surprised if something crazy is found in the financial reviews. So with that being said, there's always the possibility.
Okay.
So there's my disclaimer.
Okay, well, all we do is
All
get
right.
into it
All
and
right.
find out.
Thank you.
Go
Thank you,
forth
Chris.
and be productive.
Right.
And let me know if I can help y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Chris.
guys.
Thank you,
Alright, see ya.
Christie. See you.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye.